Hey, Hot Garbage Squad, welcome back to another video. If you haven't already, make sure you like, subscribe, and comment the videos to support the channel. Today, we'll be doing a video on the Light Beast. A lot of you guys mentioned that you're having trouble doing it, and let me show you first. You see this account. It's actually my girlfriend's alt account. You will see here from the profile book that the record here is G1. It's an old school G1, so the runes don't really reflect that anymore. So the rune quality here is definitely on the lower side, so it will give you a better idea what I'm working with. So let's begin with what the light rift does here. So the thing that stands out here is a light distortion. It creates a distorted shield that substantially decreases the inflicted damage amount when receiving multiple hits. So you don't want to do multiple hit units here. The key thing here is single target, like high scaling damage. It shares the damage with the light beast, and the beast's attack will become strong according to the remaining HP of the distorted shield. So the distorted shield is probably what you guys are having problems with. You need to kill that shield so you don't get destroyed by the damage. And you could be using multi-hits here to kind of doing less damage here. So that's probably the light distortion is what we're looking at here to play around. So here's some monster info. Obviously the twins are the best solutions here, but we're gonna do a video without twins because anybody can slap 4 twins in and it's easy peasy clear because twins have the highest DPS. So some monsters that are standing out to me here is obviously the Perna, but we're not gonna talk about Perna because that's pay to win unit. Crow, very strong single target unit. Theomar's another great one because it also has defense break and also speed scaling. I'll go into speed scaling a little bit later in the video and why it's so important. You will see Chasun and Bastet. So they're both attack buffers with Colleen, but Bastet's a little bit more pay to win. So Chasun and Colleen here are going to be crucial for attack buff and healing. And then you'll also see the Vampire Lord, mostly because of the leader skill and also because it gives us a form of sustain. Brandia, single target damage. So you'll see a lot of single target damage here, right? Shaolin, it's a multi-hit, but it scales off debuffs. It does more damage based off the more debuffs, I believe. So I think that's how her skill works. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I know from R5 her skills do a lot of damage, and it's not for the distorted shield, for the groggy state to do a lot of damage to get a triple S, like a single target, Teor single target. That's kind of the trend here. And I'm going to showcase this team to you and kind of what each unit does and how you can build your own team here. So in this team, you will see a lot of single target damage, but also speed scaling. So key units you want to look out here for are, the first slot is the attack buffer and healer. So not all of you guys will have a Hwahi built. So this slot is for Chasun, your Colleen. This is for the healing, but also the attack buff. Hwahi works because she does damage, and she also frontline, and she has Amuse and Pride will fall for damage. So if you don't have a Hwahi build, or maybe you need more healing, maybe Chasun is what you want to use. So that's the first slot, your healer and your attack buffer. Your second slot is, honestly, I think this is a great unit. Like, if you don't have this, build it. Like, if you don't have it built already, build it. If you don't own one, then you may want to use another unit that does similar to what it does here. So why it's so good here is because of resentment, not because it gives you attack buff, but in the scenario where maybe your healer doesn't give you the attack buff, you have another one here. But obviously the two key things I want to mention here is increase the attack power and attack speed. So earlier I mentioned attack speed is crucial because in our team, single target damage dealers tend to scale off speed. And by having a speed buff on your team, you're increasing the amount of turns you're having, but also your nuker's damage. Second of all, here, this is a branding. So when it's in a groggy state, if you have branding, easier to get up to the 3.5 mil, well 3 mil plus a 500k when you clear it, that bumps you up. So if you have a bunch of healers and you have like 2 damage dealers, 3 damage dealers, the branding will help you bump you to 3 mil if you're not reaching triple S. Second here, the Theomars. Theomars is free to play. You should have this, okay? If you don't have it, you probably aren't clearing this, or you're just very, very unlucky and you didn't get it by the 4th time. And the 5th one's guaranteed. So you will see, this is not even that great. It doesn't even have 85 crit rate for the guaranteed Elemental King passive. But we're looking here, we're looking at Mega Smash. The damage increases according to attack speed. So you have attack speed scaling, skill 1, attack buff on the Theomars, defense break on skill 2, and if you are like lacking crit rate in all your units, here you go, 24 crit rate. Now you can have negative runes with the Theomars leader skill. So that's why Theomars is very crucial. Here you'll also see another free to play unit, Hua, right here. The damage increases according to attack speed. So another attack speed scaling unit that does a lot of damage based off your speed. So you will see that this is basically built for R5. There's like no damage on this. This is pretty tanky for R5, and it's also really fast. And also, I'm not sure 100% sure on how the mechanic works, but I'm not sure if you can land slow, it might make the groggy state a little longer, so you have more turns. Correct me if I'm wrong there, but that's the idea behind it if it does work. But the speed scaling synergizes very well with the Wind Barbecue King, Theomars, and the Hua. And here, I hate to say it, but Taor, whatever you want to call it, Tower by the way. I mean, look at this. Squall. If you have a Lagmaron, it works as well, but Squall does so much damage because it's speed scaling. The faster your tower is, Taor, Lagmaron, the more damage you do, and you will have your Wind Barbarian to give you more damage as well. So you want to use a speed scaling unit. If you don't have a Taor, maybe you want to use some other strong DPS units like the Crow that we saw earlier. And again here, Chow, a little bit pay to win because he heals and he also frontline. However, if you have one with Chow or maybe even a Leica like we saw earlier, worth to use here because he heals, frontlines, you build him tanky anyways, he does damage based off that. So for some substitutes for the Nat 5s here, because it's not farmable, like I said, the Crow is definitely a good option here. Tark is also a good option because it has Group Hunt, which brings your units in to do damage, and skill 1 on your Theomars, skill 1 on your Hua, speed scaling. So let me see if I can find a Tark here. I won't show the Tark here because I will run this. I know it works. I know I talked a lot here, but I want you to understand the idea behind making a team here. So other monsters you can do that are single target, tons of damage. Instead of the tower, you can fuse a Sigmarus. Sigmarus scales off enemy HP, so you can consider that. Like we said earlier, Shaolin, you can consider that as well. Some people, if you're like on the stronger side, I think Lucian works as well because it ignores defense, and like I know that the shield is really strong here. So you'll see here I missed defense break. So I don't have defense break until the second rotation of damage, and I'm missing a lot of damage. So if you have like a unit like first skill of defense break, it could be like a Panda if you want to support front line. It could be a Stella that's first skills defense breaks. Some form of first skill defense break to make it more consistent will help your team get more damage to reach triple S. So those are some of the units that you can definitely consider that are more on the free-to-play side. And you know, definitely if you have Perna, Brandia, like those are the alternatives to do tons of damage here. I wouldn't suggest you to build units that like are very specific to one dungeon because it's kind of like a waste of your resource. You know what I mean? Like if you have multiple units built for multiple parts of the game, you save your resource, your energy. That way you can easily farm for other resources. So you'll see here 3.5 mil, I just made it, but like I said, the rune quality here is not super amazing. Also, you will notice that the defense break I missed made me get a big fluctuation. 3.5 mil versus 4.5 mil, like highest rank here. So I hope that helped you guys to build your light rift team. And honestly, the light rift team, you only need it to build your homunculus for the light version. I don't really see you using this team for anything else. And if you can't clear it, it's a rune check. Like the boss description said, like how much damage can you do to break the shield? You don't want to be using multi-hits. And if you don't have twins, it'll be a lot more difficult. So you will see I didn't land defense break again on the first rotation, so my damage will be kind of similar to my one previous. And they in fact did nerf the Rift Beast, so it's actually a lot easier compared to before. Imagine having to clear this twice through 2 groggy states like before, I believe. It's a lot harder. All you gotta do is reach 3 mil. It doesn't matter if you have 10 mil. Like, you don't get a better drop if you have 10 mil. You just have to reach 3 mil, and you will see that the Chow front line is, like, my front line is 3-man, and it's living. So if you just have enough damage and you live the front line, you will clear this dungeon. So make sure you guys like, subscribe, and comment if this helped you, because it definitely helps the channel. And I know most of my audience are kind of the beginner side, but you know, expanding, and if this helped you, I would really appreciate that, doing that for me. Foxy out, guys.